Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the zoo. The minion with me thus far is Donkey.
Good evening, one and all.
He sounds so very excited to be with us this evening. And of course, as it is a Friday, I'm the keeper for this evening, Sanguine. We should hopefully be joined by another minion, Adam, at some point, though he might have ended up dozing off. And we should be joined by a traveling exhibit, hopefully, of Gabby G. Wiz, who is always fun to have on, but currently is running a little bit late, I think. So, how are you doing tonight, Donkey?
Well, as I was saying earlier, just looking back at league history.
Mm-hmm.
And you guessed Kaepernick. Give you one more try. 2002, 2020. And hopefully 22 isn't a restart.
Ooh, I'm terrible at remembering who's coming back.
Current players who have been in consistently in the playoffs from 2000.
Oh, you're talking about the Patriot year?
Well, 2001, my mistake.
Was that the Patriot inflation scandal?
I think that was 04, but you are pretty much on the money.
Okay.
About one man I hate.
Not a fan of him?
No. Also, as of yesterday, he spent more time of his life on an NFL contract than not. Period.
That's fucking impressive. You have to admit that.
The fact that he's running around with people that could be presumably his grandkids almost.
Yep. Again, you have to admit, that's pretty fucking impressive, given the rate of physical burnout.
He has burnt out. He's in the easiest division to clinch, and he hasn't clinched for his team yet.
Yeah, but
he stands to lose it on Sunday.
I again say it's fairly impressive that he managed to hold on as long as he did.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't even have the option.
There's only one other man from that time period that is still playing and could also get into the playoffs, and that would be Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, he's high on painkillers half the time.
Yeah, football does an absolute fucking number on your body.
And I know someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but Rodgers is over 50, I think.
And I can definitely attest to it doing an absolute fucking number on your body, given my left knee, my right shoulder. And I just realized I forgot to title this.
Seriously, he's younger than Brady, and yet he has to be on painkillers. What the hell? Rodgers is 39, Brady is 44.
Ah, shit.
So there's another testament to the sport aging you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, it's impressive when you're able to maintain playing football for that long. Because football just absolutely fucking destroys your body. It's fun as hell, don't get me wrong. I would not have chosen not to play, even knowing what I know. And even if I was given forewarning that, yeah, your knee will ache for the rest of your life, I still would go, no, let me on that fucking field.
Oh, the knees are the least of your worries. I've seen compilations of horrible injuries.
Oh, as a lineman, it's the knees that go almost 100% of the time.
Worst I've seen is from receivers getting hit wrong, and one of them, graphic warning right here, their leg rotated the wrong way, 90 degrees, right in the middle of the lower part.
Oh, that's nothing. The worst injury that I witnessed was
We're talking about a leg sideways 90 degrees. The bone's gone.
that's not even close to the worst that I've noticed. The worst that I've witnessed firsthand. This isn't something that I saw in a video. This isn't anything like this. This is, I know the guy that this happened to. I saw this happen to the guy. I heard this happen to the guy. Was he wore the wrong type of cleats?
Oh, I know where you're going.
So, he had grass cleat on turf.
Mm.
And if you wear grass cleat on turf,
It grips in and
it digs in way too fucking deep
oh,
and just sticks. So he was running, his foot sunk in, gripped in solid. It was his left leg. As he was turning, so his left leg toe was pointed at his right foot arch as a lineman caught him.
I'm cringing enough as is.
His leg shattered. Now, you might hear that and think, oh, his leg broke in a couple places. No. 7 compound fractures. Oh, sorry, 7 complex fractures. 3 of them compound fractures. Most of them comminuted fractures.
Yeah, because the foot stays still, but the rest of it is taking all that torque.
Yep. So, for those who don't know the designations for breaks, you have simple breaks, which is a single break in a bone, goes through, they're nasty. Then you have complex fractures, which are several breaks near each other, but not directly on top of each other. And they aren't clean breaks, they're kind of jagged, but there's still still a couple single breaks just close by. Then you have comminuted fractures, which are breaks that spiderweb. And then you have compound fractures, which are breaks that then pierce the skin.
Yeah. Oh.
So the guy had 7 breaks of his femur that were mostly complex comminuted fractures, and 3 of them were compound complex comminuted fractures.
Triple C, yeah. That's a career ender.
Oh, yeah. His leg was fucked, and it sounded like a goddamn series of gunshots when it broke.
Oh.
Because it was just that...
Like I said, foot stays still, but the leg takes it all.
Yep, it was just that really loud of the bone snapping.
Followed by probably a bunch of screaming.
Oh, yeah. He screamed like... Have you ever heard a dying rabbit?
No, but I have a vivid enough imagination.
So, one of the most horrendous sounds that you could ever hear is the sound of a dying rabbit. Rabbits don't make a fucking sound their entire life, right up until they get got, and then they scream. And it's not a standard scream. It isn't a, like, ah! No, it isn't anything like that. It is this bone-chilling, high-pitched death scream that just makes all your hackles stand up.
Well, considering Buddy probably needed his entire femur reconstructed, I can forgive him for screaming like that.
Oh yeah, he spent the next week in surgeries. They had to take skin from his ass and graft it onto his leg in order to deal with all the damage to the flesh.
Probably 6 to 8 months of in a chair, if not no weight on the leg. Another year of physio and whatnot, and even then probably still had a bit of a limp.
Yep, dude had a fucking sense of humor, though. Because when he was back in school and had healed up enough that he wasn't screaming if someone touched his leg, if someone were to touch that thigh, he'd call them gay and tell them to stop touching his ass. And they would go, I'm touching your leg. No, you're touching my ass skin. That came from here. You're touching my ass. Fuck you. Why are you touching my ass, man? Why are you touching my ass? Which
I do recall actually seeing a few of those in compilations as well.
Mm-hmm.
But none sound as bad as that.
Yeah.
Mostly what the ones I saw were the ankle just rotates.
Oh, yeah. The ankle just turns the wrong way too fucking much.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are nasty. But this was the femur.
The femur took it. And considering I know the femur is the strongest bone in the body and it did that to it.
Yep.
Just another perfect example of what football does to the body.
Yeah, he was a back that took a 250, 300-pound lineman tackling him. And because of how his foot was anchored, it just went all to the fucking femur. And I've done gnarly hits. Thankfully, I've never crippled anyone like that. But I've bounced people in tackles.
Well, fortunately, the league takes a real hard stance against rough hits.
Oh, see, the thing is that my hits weren't...
They weren't ones that would get you thrown out or a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah. They were all completely legit. It was just, I'm a monster. So, I bounced a QB in a tackle. Hey, Gabby, how goes?
Howdy, sorry I'm late.
Well,
not a problem at all. Like I was telling them, sometimes your work ends up causing you to linger a little bit, so you'll be here when you get here.
No. I'm glad you're so understanding. Again, apologies.
Not a problem at all. But, yeah, we were talking about football since Donkey's been keeping up with the current season, and I played for fucking 12 years.
Yes, go Chiefs.
Woo, sports ball.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Currently, we're talking mainly about injuries. So even if you don't know about the sport, you can still enjoy the injury talk. And by enjoy, I mean subconsciously wince and groan in pain at the discussion of people's bones bending and breaking in interesting fashion.
You are well aware that there was no subconscious in my part for that.
Oh, yeah. But when I say that I bounced a QB donkey, I mean, I was put in on defense, and I was told to break up the play. So I broke up the fucking play. Because
and laid the poor guy on his ass before he got the ball away?
Oh. A few plays after I get in, it ends up being a pass. I come breaking through the fucking line like I'm a goddamn wrecking ball. Just immediately ground the center and the guard. the moment that the ball is hiked. The QB has dropped back and he's already ball to the ear, so I can't hit him or else that's roughing the passer. Through my mouth guard, I yell, "Don't get rid of it, little man! Don't get rid of it! Come on, hit me! Come on! And he has this moment of, oh, good fucking God, and he lowers the ball from his ear.
Makes to look like he's gonna run and he ends up on his ass.
Oh, no, it isn't looks like he's about to run. It is entirely, he's staring at me like, oh my God, what is this thing? I am fucked.
Oh, deer in the headlights.
As his arm just lowers down and he's wide-eyed staring at me, just shaking his head side to side, going, no. Poor
bastard.
The moment that the ball lowers down and I'm allowed to hit this guy now, I drop down onto all fucking fours, grab hold of the ground with my fingers, cock my entire body back, and launch myself with arms and legs.
Going in first strike.
Nope, not helmet. I never tackled with my helmet.
Okay.
I have broad-ass shoulders. I caught this son of a bitch in the gut with my shoulder as I'm in this ballistic arc, just properly fucking parabolic from this just absolute spring of my body. I catch him in the gut as I'm still rising in the arc. I wrap him, and the way that I ended up jumping, because one leg was a little bit further back than the other, I have a slight twist to my jump. And I realize that after I wrap him, I'm twisting. If I let go, he'll fly into the ground. Fuck it. I let go. He slams into the ground. He hits the ground. He bounces back up. According to one of my teammates who was like 6'6", the motherfucker bounced up to his hip. As I reach the top of my arc and start coming down, I catch him in the gut with my shoulder again. And I just wrap him back up as I come crashing to the ground on top of him. I tackled the bastard twice. And I sent him into like two other people that were around him just looking at this gnarly fucking hit. So, like I said, when I played, I did nasty shit. It was all completely legal. It wasn't intended to break anyone. Just,
I'm
a
little
monster.
Well, even if you say it's not your intent, I've seen a couple of plays where it is completely unintentional, but due to them be the rules, I've seen even people get thrown out for stuff like that. An example is the receiver gets tackled, actually wrapped up in the foot, then a tackle on the side. A third guy's coming in to help, and due to that side tackle, helmet to helmet, the third guy gets thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
Because them's just be the rules.
Oh yeah, if it's helmet to helmet, you fucked up.
Well, it was entirely unintentional on Greenshaw, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it just happened.
Yep. But yeah, if it's helmet to helmet, you're fucking out.
Hmm.
You're either out because you knocked yourself, or you're out because you just did a dirty play.
Yeah. As far as I understand it, until about 5 years ago, the league allowed one of those, and it was a major warning. It was still 15 yards auto first down, no matter what. But nowadays, you are right. Any helmet to helmet, guy who did it out immediately.
Yeah.
And
I got
15
ear
yards auto first down.
I
Or
got ear
15
hold.
yards, whatever, down if it was on the offense.
I got ear hold, and it was my non-concussion head injury that was the result of it. Because I came busting through the line as... Actually, I was pulling guard for this. So I'm on offense, pulling guard. I go screaming down the line, turn up to just start rampaging up the field. And the other team had tried to cripple me once already because the team had tried to shatter my left leg. And when I say they tried to shatter my left leg, you might hear that they tried to injure my left leg. No. They tried to shatter my left leg. Because what they did was, are you familiar with what a chop block is at all, Donkey?
Chop block?
A chop block.
Not specifically.
So a chop block is a block that hits directly above or directly below the knee. It's allowed plus or minus 1 yard of the line of scrimmage.
Right, because beyond that, a person's moving so quick that a hit like that would take the knee out.
It would shatter the leg. So, like I said, you can hit right above the knee, you can hit right below the knee. Fuck you if you ever hit on the knee. You're supposed to be out of the game.
Yeah.
If not worse, because if you hit directly on the knee, now you aren't just trying to take out the leg, you're trying to reverse the knee. Which, that's not just a game ender for someone, that's a fucking career ender. That is the person never walks right for the rest of their goddamn life. So, I was on defense again. I'd been thrown in because my defensive line coach liked to use me as a goddamn battering ram. So anytime that defense was having trouble, he'd always look over at me and go, "Hey, you're going in as this position. Wreak some havoc." And wreak some fucking havoc I goddamn would. So I was in on defense. I had just been absolutely fucking up the line. And then this one play happened. And they apparently decided that they were going to cripple me. And it wasn't just one person decided this. It was a couple people decided this, if not the entire fucking team. Because I was 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And the first lineman hit my knee directly on. And, oh yeah, hitting on the knee, bad enough. What you sure as shit never do is you never hit like a 45 on the knee.
To try and make it bounce sideways as well?
Yeah, if you hit a 45, then not only do you reverse the knee, but you fold it in the wrong way.
Yeah, this... Oh.
If you hit directly on the knee, you'll shatter the knee. If you hit on the 45, you'll shatter the knee and tear every ligament in it.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, I was moving fast. I was going to hit someone hard. First lineman hits my knee, directly on the knee, on a 45. Hard enough that he immediately drives his shoulder out of the socket through the pads. He goes down screaming. His buddy comes
improper technique or just bad pads?
Neither. I am built like a fucking tank. Remember, Donkey. Okay. Donkey, how big is a standard male's waist?
in terms of total circumference that come adulthood,
Yep.
I'd say anywhere from 34 to just shy of 50 in the extremely plus size models.
So a medium, so average would be about 32 to 34. My thigh is a 30-inch circumference. Not my hip, my thigh. My thigh is effectively a person's torso.
Okay, but
Dick.
still, you're talking about an ideal angle hit on an unstabilized leg, and
Yep.
the padded shoulder takes it worse. Bullshit! You didn't fall down yourself.
No,
Outright
it didn't.
bullshit.
It didn't take it worse. My knee took a hell of a lot of it. The thing is, he was not as durable. His shoulder was driven out of the socket. The second guy who did the exact same fucking thing didn't hit quite as hard. But what he did that his buddy didn't do, because his buddy drove his shoulder out of the socket, was he started driving it like a football sled. Hyperextending my knee left to right and front to back.
Mm.
So my leg was bending backwards at a 45-degree angle by a considerable degree. And I couldn't collapse my leg because it was locked out. I had to punch down on the middle of the guy's shoulders, driving him just below my knee, and then I had to punch my knee from the other side in order to reverse the bend and have it bend normal, collapsing it.
Mm. Immediately falling down, of course, because...
Immediately collapsing, yeah. I went down on a knee, just bellowing.
Ugh.
I had a 74% tear of my ACL.
And considering Kyle or something ended his season 2 weeks ago on an ACL.
I went back in 4 plays later. No, I went back in 4 plays later.
Okay.
I played the rest of the game until the 4th quarter. Someone ear-holed me. They knocked themselves out on the side of my head. But they caused me to see double, so I had to come off the field. Donkey, you have to remember, I'm a giant token dwarf.
Yeah, but a strained, partially torn ACL.
Yep. Went back in 4 plays later.
Walking.
Went back in 4 plays later. Played the rest of the game until the 4th quarter when I was taken out due to a non-concussion head injury. And I was back the next game and played the rest of the season on 26% of an ACL. And not only that, but I played the next 3 seasons on a 26% ACL. Adrenaline's a powerful drug. Also, I'm just built fucking weird.
You're built different.
Assuming this is the NCAA, that sounds like it's against their injury protocols, period.
Oh, I didn't get the diagnosis of a 74% tear until after the season.
By which point, a week or 2 later, it had already recovered enough that if it wasn't affecting you or got worse, no one would have
no,
been
the thing
alive.
is that ACLs are almost completely avascular. They aren't supposed to heal. Which is why if you get a 75% tear or more, it's automatic. You're going to go get surgery, and we're going to either stitch what remains back together, or we're just going to give you a dead man's ACL.
Basically what, like I said, what happened to Kyler Murray just a couple weeks ago.
Yep. I say most, it's completely avascular, so that most of the time that doesn't happen. And the reason why I say most of the time is, again, I'm a freak. It took about 6 years, but after 6 years, I had a whole ACL again. Just my leg muscles had become completely unbalanced. So my thigh muscles started to pull my patella out of the track and turn it sideways.
Which sounds like you would have had to go down for reconstructive surgery, I think.
Nope,
Not in the typical term, but that's the best word for it.
Had to go in for knee surgery, absolutely, because what happened was I had the...
Yeah, you're talking the muscles developed wrong because of the ACL damage.
Yep, I had the unbalanced knee, then I had a bursa sac herniated in the knee, which turned it more, pushed it more. I had a bone spur form, which turned it more, pushed it more. So for about a year, I had bone-on-bone grinding because my patella wasn't
not good
riding in the track.
That'll get you to have a fucking
outside.
new knee replacement. Like, that shit's no joke.
Oh, yeah, it might end up eventually doing that. But what they ended up having to do was I went in for surgery. They had to slit my thigh muscle in 7 locations in order to relax it enough to...
And like I said, basically reconstruct the entire knee system.
Yeah, they slit the thigh in 7 locations, relaxing the muscle enough that the patella returned to the track. They excised the bursa sac, and then they had to grind down the bone spur. My knee will never quite be the same, but it's still a hell of a lot stronger than it has any right to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I say that football can fuck up a body, I know from goddamn experience. I had that knee injury. I had tendonitis, bursitis, and impingement syndrome all at the same time in the left shoulder.
Yeah, and to go back to the Murray situation, he wasn't even contacted by anyone. I understand that he had some previous ACL issues, so that probably was a factor, but he just landed on his foot wrong. The lower bone pops out back in as he continues in stride, and then he goes right down.
Yep. Yeah. You can get really nasty injuries without any real contact. I mean, I bruised every single leg bone in a fall once.
Yeah, a person lands on their leg wrong after catching a ball. Could lead to an Achilles tendon strain or something.
But the thing is that as bad as backs get it, backs never get it anywhere near as bad as linemen. Because think about it this way, Donkey. A back probably gets hit most plays, right?
One or the other, typically.
Well, I'm saying that a back probably gets hit most plays.
If a quarterback is tossing the ball, yes, typically after they've tossed the ball away, though it's usually a lighter hit unless it's an outright sack, and then it can be a heavy hit. A running back will typically be felled pretty quick.
Yeah, and it's unless everything goes beautifully, they'll get hit at some, or they'll probably get hit. There is the exception of everything goes beautifully, and they don't get a goddamn touch on them, and they're just gone. There is no play where a lineman doesn't get hit. And there is no play where a lineman doesn't get hit by the biggest son of a bitch that's meant to hit him.
Yeah, hit and hold long enough for one of the backs to do their jobs.
Yep.
One or the other.
As much damage as a back will take, linemen take at least 10 times that.
My main defense against that is the backs are typically built for that.
There's really no building for that, to be perfectly fucking honest.
You want to put a string beef receiver in that position instead?
Oh, there's ways of being more vulnerable to it, but there's really no way of being built for the forces that you're talking about in a hit like that are 1,000+ pounds of force.
Mm-hmm. Even with all
person-
the padding and everything,
A
eventually the
person can't
shoulders and
really be
knees are
built
just
for
gonna.
1,000+ pounds of sustained force. It is absolute freak biology that we have people that can handle it as well as they do.
And
Like
as I was saying, most probably have shit knees and shit shoulders.
Oh yeah, if you're a lineman for any long period of time, you're going to have to get your knee worked on. The knees are always the thing that go.
Mm.
Other things might go. The knee will always end up going if you're a lineman for long enough. I was just lucky that I was a genetic anomaly. Which is how, even with hits that should have fucking crippled me, seriously crippled me, I end up being the most technical of technical cripples. Because, yeah, my knee hurts constantly. But I can still leg press over half a ton.
That's not good for your health.
It is if you do it right. You have to know the proper form. You have to do it properly. As long as you do it right, then it doesn't have any real negative downside. If you fuck up your form, then that's when you start to really get the hurt put on you.
Yeah.
Because that's when you end up with shit like your knee ends up getting reversed by you locked out your knee during the leg press and your knee couldn't take it, so it decided to bend the wrong way.
To speak nothing of not having proper spinal alignment.
Yep. But yeah, it's a constant thing that you have to be worried about how you do shit, how you take hits, which a really good football coach will drill you not only in how to give a hit, but how to take a hit.
Mm.
And my coaches...
And some of the really good receivers know how to take a hit.
Oh, for my coaches, I had amazing football coaches. The way that they would train how to take a hit was Oklahoma drills. Oklahoma drills are tackle drills. And they would watch us like a goddamn hawk the entire time that we're doing the Oklahomas, because they drilled it into us that if you can resist the hit, resist the hit. If you can redirect the hit, redirect the hit. If you can do neither, accept the hit and go fucking boneless.
Yeah, when you're tense, you take more damage.
Exactly. So what they would watch us for is if we were able to resist the hit, they wanted us to resist the hit. And they would make sure that we knew up to what point we could resist the hit. If we could redirect the hit, they'd want us to redirect the hit, and they wanted us to know exactly when. But if we couldn't, they wanted us to relax, and if we didn't relax, fucking drill again after running suicides. Fuck you. You're going to go boneless either because you know when to go boneless or because you're so goddamn tired you can't not go boneless.
One issue I find with going boneless, unless I'm partially misunderstanding, is you go boneless, there's a fumble waiting to happen.
Say again?
There's a fumble waiting to happen.
Oh, what going boneless means is that you relax pretty much everything in your body, But if you're holding onto the ball, that arm stays crooked onto your chest.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't take the hit. Because an example of not going boneless would be reaching back and trying to catch yourself. You're locking out your arm trying to catch yourself, your arm's going to break. Or really tensing up your back's going to take that force. What you do is...
make sure the ball is secure, but relax everything else.
Yep, you relax everything. The one exception is you kind of hunch your shoulders very slightly, and then you have a controlled release of your neck. Because what you want to do is you want to make it so that if you're falling backwards, your shoulders will hit first, and it will be kind of a roll almost. And then your neck will be a controlled release. So rather than snapping back and hitting the ground, it eases back, accepting just enough of the hit that you don't slam your head.
Mm-hmm. I think we should understand our audience. Pop-Tart is probably falling asleep, and it doesn't sound like anyone else is too into football right now.
Yeah, I was about to switch. No, I've talked about football before, Assassin. I've talked about food many times, had entire rants about mythology. I talk about fucking any topic. And I can talk about it almost non-stop.
Yeah, you getting on football over me just enjoying this season end.
I'm a firm believer of a well-rounded mind.
You certainly do accomplish that, sir.
But shall we go to a different topic? Do either of you have one off the top of your head, or shall I pull one out of my little reserve? It sounds like I might pull one out of my reserve.
Yeah, I can't think of anything at the moment.
Donkey?
What's up?
Donkey!
What's up?
Do you have anything that you want to chat about, or shall I pull something out of my reserve?
Pull something out of the magic hat, unless you want me to start talking Warhammer.
Well,
how do you feel about Henry Cavill doing that, by the way?
Given his record, and I believe Quiz and I have had a conversation on that subject, he's one of the few that can be trusted, for one, and for two, GW is litigious enough and cagey enough about their IP that if Amazon tries the same bullshit they did with Rings of Power, the whole rug's going to be pulled out from under them.
Cavill is a lore whore in the best possible way. That's the reason why he stepped down from The Witcher.
I know.
Because he saw that shit and went,
a nerd,
nope,
and
nope,
he's hot.
Fuck you.
It's the best.
But yeah, he's a lore whore in the best possible way. The one thing that I wish he was a lore whore in that sadly he has not been thus far is Superman.
And to be fair, I mean, the man's already got a multitude of other hobbies. He can't be perfect at everything he signs up for.
I know, but the Superman from the Snyderverse is the fucking antithesis of Superman. Because I've talked about this I don't know how many times, and I'm going to continue talking about it because it is the best Superman episode from fucking anything. And it was in the animated series for Superman. There's an episode where Superman decides he wants to get a win for Clark Kent. So he finds out that someone has been falsely convicted and they're on death row. So as Clark Kent, not using his superpowers, just using good old investigative journalism, he discovers the evidence to prove that the man was falsely convicted. And not only that, but he gets evidence pointing to who actually committed the crime.
He literally Batman's it.
Yeah, he Batmans it the entire episode, and it is glorious. And then, as he's going to give the evidence, proving this man innocent, he's driving down this winding road that is right along the side of this cliff into the water. And the man who's actually responsible for the murder tries to kill him. So what he does is he, I believe, blinds him, causing him to go off the road, crashing into the water. And Superman realizes what happened, realizes that the would-be assassin is still watching to see whether or not he surfaces. But Superman's Superman. He manages to swim out away under the water without being seen and then flies off. But now he has a hard decision to make, because this man has tried to kill him. If he presents the evidence that he collected, well, it wouldn't be that hard for the man to realize, holy shit, that's Superman. Clark Kent is Superman. Which destroys his secret identity. Puts people in danger. Can he really afford to do that? He doesn't know. Is there some other option? And he's having this problem because everything that he does in his mind would result in something that he does not want to have happen. So what does Superman do? He's in this massive moral quandary where he does not know what the right thing to do is. He doesn't know where to turn. So he turns to two people. The only two people that he can trust 100% to give him the right answer. Who does he turn to?
First guess would be Ma and Pa.
Ma and Pa Kent. Exactly. He goes to a payphone and he calls up Ma and Pa Kent. And he tells them what happened. And first off, Ma Kent goes, Clark, you aren't Superman. You're Clark. Doesn't matter what name you go by. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Doesn't matter what form you take. If you're using a superhero name, you are our son. You are Clark Kent. Every time that you save someone, that is a win for Clark Kent. You don't need to do shit in order to make this a win for Clark Kent. You don't need to hold back in order for it to be a win for you. Every time it's a win for you. You are our son. And then immediately after giving him that talk, she goes, if you don't do anything, an innocent man is going to be killed. You know what to do, son. And Pa Kent says effectively the same thing. That he knows what the right thing to do is. Whatever blowback
Except
there is.
fall back and do.
Yep, whatever blowback there
is.
Whatever blowback there is, they'll find out. And they'll get through it together. Because he's their son. And he knows what the right thing to do is. So the very end of the episode is he goes in and he presents all the evidence proving the man was innocent. It leads to the correct man getting arrested and the innocent man being let free. That is the quintessential Superman episode to my mind, because Superman should never be, this is where everyone gets Superman wrong. Superman should never be will Superman be able to win this physical conflict? He's fucking Superman. Of course he's going to win. There's no way that you will get a physical confrontation that will actually have you going, oh God, will Superman win? No, Superman's going to fucking win. There's a reason why Superman's main villain isn't someone who is just as powerful as Superman. No, Superman's quintessential villain is a fucking human. His quintessential villain is Lex goddamn Luthor. Not because Lex Luthor is able to challenge him physically. No, Lex Luthor challenges him morally. Because the thing about Superman is he has the power. He could very easily become the most horrendous villain in the history of goddamn anything. Because he is effectively omnipotent. What he has to do is he has to make sure that he's doing the right thing. Because when it comes down to it, Superman isn't a Kryptonian. Superman isn't a godly being from elsewhere. Superman is Clark Kent. He's a farm boy from Kansas that was raised right by people that care about him, by people that were moral. And that is where Superman shines. That is what makes Superman Superman. He's a Kryptonian, that's what makes him special. Fuck that. That doesn't matter a goddamn bit. Because
it's at best secondary.
Yeah, that's secondary. That is the reason why Superman has the ability to do the amazing things that he does. That isn't why he does amazing things. That's the reason why he has the ability. Because it comes down to Superman is just Clark Kent. And Clark Kent is just a good, honest, decent farm boy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good, honest, decent farm boy who actually has the power to set things right. And that's where Superman really shines. Superman shines in the, oh God, am I doing the right thing experience of the show. Not in the fights, not in will he win, won't he win, what's going to happen. Hello, Adam. We're talking about Superman. So that's where Superman is at his best. And it pisses me off because so few things realize that when it comes to Superman. The recent iterations have always tried to put way too much fucking emphasis on, oh, he's an alien. People don't understand. The fact that in the Nolan universe, well, not Nolan, it was the Snyderverse. Sorry. I did not mean to slander Nolan. In the Snyderverse, they had Pa Kent effectively say, man, fuck those kids, hide your identity. That assassinated Pa Kent. And that was always one of the important things in the old movies. So, in the Reeves movies, Pa Kent dies in one of the Reeves movies. And when Pa Kent dies, he dies in a very specific manner. Pa Kent dies of cancer. And there's a reason why Pa Kent dies of cancer. It's a natural disease. It's something that Superman couldn't have stopped. Whereas in the Snyderverse, Pa Kent gets sucked up by a tornado.
Something entirely stoppable.
Yeah.
Superman could grab Pa Kent and drag him out from the danger area of the tornado. Pa Kent would have survived.
Well, hold on. What if Pa Kent had just a cancerous cyst, and Superman could have just easily just eyeball lasered it out of his system?
See, that was the thing with the old Reeves movies. It was that by the time that Pa Kent got diagnosed, it was already metastatic. It had moved throughout the entire body.
Oh.
So destroying it would have been effectively killing him.
Oh my God.
With his vision, couldn't he sense his father was ill?
So, Assassin, correct me. In the Reeves, it was a heart attack. I think it was in one of the others, it was cancer. he's correct in that. So in the Reeves, it was a heart attack, sudden heart attack. Superman couldn't stop the sudden heart attack. And in the other version where it was cancer, it was metastatic cancer. And the thing was that Superman was away when Pa Kent had started developing the cancer, because Superman doesn't live at home in Kansas. Superman's in Metropolis. He visits home, but he hadn't visited home in a while. And then he visits home and he realizes that his father's dying. And his father's dying in a way that if he tried to do something, he'd probably kill his father faster than his father's already dying. So,
Well, all he has to do is fly backwards super fast against the orbit of
And
the
turn back
Earth,
time.
and all of
That's-
a sudden he won't have cancer anymore. Yeah, you've seen the show. You've seen the show.
my favorite what the fuck Superman power is still Great Wall rebuilding vision.
Dude,
Do you guys remember that?
What
Didn't
about
he
the
do
mini
that?
Superman vision? No, that is a relic of the 40s.
Superman has Great Wall rebuilding vision. It was in one of the movies. The Great Wall gets destroyed.
In China?
In China. And rather than
No,
Superman,
Hadrian's Wall.
rather than
You're
Superman,
funny. Funny,
just
funny gay, not funny ha
rather than Superman just
Wow.
super speed, placing all the bricks where they belong. No. What happens is Superman looks at the wall and he does one of his vision effects, like heat vision. But what happens is all the bricks from the ground start flying up into the proper place and the wall rebuilds. He has Great Wall rebuilding vision. What the fuck superpower is Great Wall rebuilding vision?
It
That
sounds
doesn't
more
sound like
like
anything
it sounds more
biologically
like
beneficial to develop.
vision-based telekinesis to me.
No, because there were several other points where he could have used telekinesis, but he didn't. Therefore, if it was telekinesis, why didn't he use telekinesis earlier? The only explanation is that he has the most singular power of Great Wall rebuilding vision.
In which case, I'll call it another power. Plot.
But
Plot. Just plot.
Yeah, plot is the real reason behind it. But it's just fucking hilarious that he has Great Wall rebuilding vision. And I'm going to stick with he has Great Wall rebuilding vision. But yeah, every other time that Pa Kent has died in a series that actually understood who Superman was, Pa Kent dies of something natural and something that Superman couldn't really stop. But then, like I said, in the Snyderverse, he gets sucked up by a fucking tornado. That's what kills Pa Kent. He gets sucked up by a tornado. There's a shit ton of things that Superman could have done in order to stop his father being killed by being sucked up by a tornado. Superman has stopped tornadoes by flying in the opposite direction around them before. Superman could just pull Pa Kent out of the area so that he wasn't sucked up by a tornado. There's a shit. I think Superman has at least once frozen a tornado.
I was gonna say, I don't know if it's just my imagination or if it might have been from a Fletcher Superman cartoon, but could have sworn he just like blew a tornado away or something like that. He
Yeah.
just blew in the opposite direction.
If he can run around the world and make time go backwards,
okay.
surely he could outpace a tornado and make it run backwards and nullify the tornado.
Yeah, he's blown tornadoes out. He's
Truly.
frozen tornadoes. He's goddamn flown in the opposite direction to put out a tornado. He's canceled out tornadoes an ungodly number of times in a ridiculous number of ways. But for some fucking reason, watching his father get sucked up in a tornado, Clark just goes, "Oh, that's sad." But then again, it wasn't really his father. It was
Wasn't
a
the
goddamn...
context of the movie was his father's like, no matter what, don't reveal your powers? Am I
Yeah!
mistaken?
Which is, again, there's one point where he gets pissed off at Clark for saving children from drowning. A bus crashes into a lake, and Clark saves the children. Clark was a child at this time, but Clark saves the other children from drowning in the bus, and Pa Kent gets pissed at him. The Pa Kent from the episode that I described earlier would have been, if he had found out that Clark had done anything shy of that, he would have grabbed Clark by his shirt collar, tried to haul him up, and been yelling at him, "What the hell is wrong with you, boy?
Well, I
You
would have
let
thought
the
it would have been a good
children
old-fashioned
die?"
attempt to beat him within an inch of his life.
Yeah, it would have been this immediate, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you heartless? Are you a monster? Did we raise you this way, you piece of shit? You had the chance to save people, to make it so that they were able to see another fucking day, and you just watched children drown because, oh, they might have found out who I was." Who the fuck gives a shit?
With great
That would
power
have
comes
been-
great responsibility. I know that's Spider-Man, but not Superman. But
Yep.
I love the
It
Spider-Man
applies.
universe. It applies.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Superman. In fact, there's an entirely set aside comic run that is a what if series about Superman. Because the whole thing, like I said, Superman is just a decent Kansas farm boy raised by the Kents, who are the salt of the fucking earth. They raised him right. They raised him to be moral. They raised him to be good. They raised him for truth, justice, and the American way, to quote the old comics. There's another comic run that was a what if series of what if Superman didn't land in America and wasn't raised by the Kents.
You're talking about Red Superman
Yes, Red Sun.
or Red Sun? Yeah.
Which, for those who don't know, the premise of Red Sun is Kal-El crash lands in the Soviet Union.
Oof.
Garos, Gaviros,
Yep.
Gaviro. And you know what? I bet you anything Donkey's over there sitting twiddling his thumbs like, "Yee, I can't wait to
Donkey
hear about
has
this."
an absolute fucking rager, all 1.5 inches of it. So,
Oh,
Evo, Saveros,
wrong
Saveros.
on all factors.
All right. You don't have to get angry.
I overestimated the length, I know. So,
Fuck off.
but yeah, Red Sun is Superman. Kal-El lands in the Soviet Union. He gets picked up by a bunch of Soviet peasants, effectively. And they then turn him over to the government in exchange for
A bread.
their life not being completely fucked over by the Soviet regime.
Well, that too.
And he's then raised by the government. And he becomes the perfect Soviet.
Sojat.
And it is fucking terrifying.
Let's bear in mind that
This is just a comic book, okay, ladies
Yep.
and gentlemen. It's not real. It's just a comic book. All right.
let's
So
bear
let's.
in mind that an orthodox view of Marxist theory would have made a perfect communist Superman. Well, overthrow the corrupt power structure within the Soviet system.
Except the problem is that he became a perfect Stalinist communist.
Oh.
And
Not the
also,
right communism.
Marxist communism is also still fucked.
But if you
Oh,
try
oh,
it
yeah,
this way,
Anything with communist isn't in it is
Yeah.
still fucked.
It's made
There's
by a
no
cynical,
good
godless
communist.
heathen.
no. But if he had a little Espanol in his communism, it might have been
No. Are you talking about Che Guevara? Go to hell. Go to hell and die. I
That just
still wonder
reminds-
how many gay people wear a Che Guevara shirt and like you realize he didn't like the gays. You know this, right?
Okay.
And by European ethnicities, I'm almost certain that the Hispanics are actually the lowest in terms of LGBT tolerance.
Also, the part that I find fucking hilarious is the number of people that are
it's gonna be
culturally and religiously Jewish that are also saying that Marxism was so well thought out. And I'm going, have you read Marxism?
It breeds
material?
of anti-Semitism as well.
Yeah. The thing about Marxism, when you look at Marxism versus Nazism, Marxism thought that capitalism was a Jewish conspiracy.
Let's also
Nazism,
not forget that the Marx, Mussolini, Hitler pipeline is a thing.
yeah. So Marx thought that capitalism was a Jewish conspiracy. The Nazis went, well, he was half right, because Marxism is also a Jewish conspiracy. So they sought a third path. It's all fucked up bullshit. All of them ridiculously anti-Semitic and insane. But the number of people that will say, well, communists weren't anti-Semitic. Holodomor, Marx. Have you
they
read his
deny
fucking
it.
writings?
So many deny the Holodomor thing.
Yeah. So many deny the Holodomor. So many deny Marx's writings. They'll talk about how, oh yeah, the filthy alt-righters believe in phrenology. Yeah, okay. Do you know who one of the major proponents of phrenology was? I'll give you a hint. He wrote a very specific book that they fucking love. Yeah, Marx and Engels were both very, very strong proponents of phrenology.
And if I remember right, phrenology is
the study of skulls.
Yep.
And how
and the
it was
skull geometry is direct correlation with intelligence, I believe.
Yes.
mm-hmm.
With not only intelligence, but your predisposition towards certain
positions
sorts
in life.
of positions in life.
Mhm.
So
And-
if you had a rather broad, robust skull, then clearly you were meant to be a laborer. If you had a brutish skull, then you were better off just discarded. If you had a very large but soft in its appearance, so rounded features, then you were clearly an intellectual. That was phrenology.
Well, the Greeks had their own version. I mean, not of skulls, but like actually small penises were seen as a sign of intellect and
It was seen as
morbidness.
a symbol of virtue,
Yeah.
Here we
which
go
is
with
why the
What the fuck?
Grecian statues
Sounds
are
like-
hung like ants.
this. Woe unto the
Are
person.
you giggling?
Woe unto the person who's born with a watermelon head and a small penis.
Through the
Watermelon head and small penis. That's clearly, if you combine the two different theories, a very
Would they
virtuous
cancel
and
each other
very
out, or
intelligent
how would
man.
that work?
I don't know how this mutation.
No,
is.
because
Is he a super
watermelon
smart
head-
person, or is he just like a just like
No,
a
see,
mutant
watermelon
with
head
the wrong
would
powers?
be a large rounded head, which phrenologists would say that was indicative of a peaceful, high intellect individual.
He's one of those.
And
Under
They-
Earth people from the Time Machine movie.
Being hung like a field mouse would have meant that he was extremely virtuous.
Well, no, but we don't need more of him, so that's why he has a small penis. So he's bred to be just a brutish.
No, because Watermelon Head, that's large and rounded. Large and rounded was
Oh,
intelligent.
they're intelligent.
Yes,
I don't know.
because
Got watermelon
you
head.
needed a large head in order to house a large brain. And it was the brutish aspect. So if you had very blunted, rough features, then that was a sign that you
Oh,
were
so like-
either a brute or a laborer.
So like a pinhead,
Yeah, if you had a
cone-shaped brain,
narrow brain pan,
conical.
then that was a sign of stupidity.
It's not
If you
comical.
had very angular features, then that was a sign of
Angular. Well, it's not a cute.
because there's nothing cute about it. So if you had very angular features, that was a sign of you being somewhat sinister. If you had very broad and blunted features, that was the sign of a good laborer. And if you had large and blunted, if you had a large head with a wide brain pan and blunted features, that was the sign that you were intelligent and honest.
Okay,
If I remember correctly.
so what if you had like a hammerhead shark, like
Oh, for
a
God's
hammerhead-
sakes.
I
hold
don't
on,
think
hold
the
on, Eeyore.
scholars. I don't
Put
think the
the
quote-unquote
brownies
scholars of
down,
that
Adam.
day gave a fuck
I don't-
about the anomalies.
Hold on.
I don't think they categorized
Just
the
hear me out.
minority.
Okay, so what if he has a cone head, but he has a hammerhead like penis? Like,
What is a hammerhead penis? What does that
Oh,
even
for
mean?
God's
Well,
sake.
most
don't know.
sharks have
I'm trying to understand this physiology.
sharks
and
have
nothing to
two
do with
penises.
anything.
They're not technically penises. Not technically.
not
No,
technically, but we call them
Strange,
penises.
different
Most-
species that grows up.
Most sharks have two penis-like objects.
Holy shit! Well, okay, we can even discuss that. What about humans with two penises?
There are some of those.
Well,
Yeah,
there's very few of them.
chimeras.
There are some, but there's very few of them.
Do you think they can get one hard and the other one is soft, and then
No,
like he has to take half of Viagra?
Justin Wang actually did a video about a guy with two penises. Apparently, the guy with two penises was in a polyamorous relationship, one guy, one dude, and both of his penises worked and could ejaculate.
Oh shit! Do you think he was cheating if he used one penis for the other that wasn't supposed to be used for that one?
Wait, did he
I just-
assign
I
the
just-
penises?
I don't know. I don't know how these rules work. This is all new to me.
And also, if you had
You-
the choice of being double-barreled, would you want stack eye or would you want
No.
side by side?
You probably could do either.
See, side by side, I
Oh,
think
wow.
would be the more impressive look. Stack eye, the more functional.
That's what I would probably say. Over under is just more efficient.
Over under. Over
Yeah, that's the firearm term.
under.
Yeah, it's stack eye or over under.
Hey, how's your cock swinging? Over under. Over under.
Oh, for
Does it lead to the
God's
left or
sakes.
the right? Which one?
Yep,
dude.
God damn it. Okay, can we also for a moment
I got a cock
appreciate
salute
the
in the
fact
other
that this
cock.
conversation started with Henry Cavill in Warhammer.
Funny
Yeah,
how
we're
life
talking about
works,
lore
isn't it?
whoring.
Well, and then we talk about some dick. You know, come on.
Well, that's because you forced it that way.
I didn't force nothing.
Yes, you
You
did.
can't-
We all
That-
care about consent on this channel.
Yeah,
I don't-
Adam definitely asks for consent before he
Listen,
goes
that's
for
that's
it.
a
for
that's a
God's sake.
that's a rape accusation, and I can't stand for it, you Canuck. Good God, and it would come from a Canuck, wouldn't it?
You know what?
Oh.
Sure, let's use the term mental rape.
Sure. Let's use. No, let's not. What the fuck?
Donkey, is that really a direction that you want to go?
Oh no.
I remember the profile picture that you used and what it's
Oh.
from. Fuck you.
Oh, what's
What?
the backstory? I feel like I'm out of
What?
the loop on the lore. I need
Donkey
context.
used scaly smut zoomed in on one face as a profile pic for the longest fucking time.
Donkey,
I
what?
refuse to believe that.
You
That is-
absolutely did, and you showed people the original picture, you fuck.
how could you do something like that, dude?
Him?
Like,
Him?
I
Hold
mean,
on.
well,
Him?
no. Okay, all jokes aside, haha, Donkey's goofy, but come on, dude. I thought you were better than that. You're better than that, right? That didn't happen.
What are you talking about, Willis?
He liked the way that one of the dragons involved looked. So he zoomed in
Oh,
and used
yeah,
that
no.
dragon's face.
Good.
You know what? That sounds like a donkey thing. Yeah.
And now I remember it.
Now I remember it.
I remember fucking everything, you
damn it,
goddamn
donkey.
fuck.
Why did you lie to us, donkey?
I thought I knew you.
But yeah. So
All right, so
Sure.
what'd you cook for dinner? Did I miss that?
we have not actually
Jesus
talked about my dinner as
Christ.
of yet.
Oh, so what'd you cook?
So if we want to go to that, then I can discuss
I mean,
the absolutely
It's a nice
amazing
segue.
or it was a sake, miso, and honey marinated salmon that
Ooh.
I then seared off real quick in a screaming hot skillet with some kimchi on a
Kimchi.
bit of jasmine rice that I prepared up as smoked shoyu butter rice
I'll show you butter.
with a rihaku dreamy clouds nagori sake, a sapporo, and then kaneko whiskey. And Pop-Tarts happy that we finally moved to food and away from Donkey zoomed in smut. So
Will you shush?
I had that
to think of the
as
nicest way to get out of it.
I had that as my dinner, and then I had a dessert of some whiskey macerated strawberries that were served topped with a protein packed whipped cream that was a malted French vanilla whipped cream. And it was absolutely fucking delicious. So that was my full dinner for the night.
Well, it sounds very delicious, sir.
Oh, it was amazing.
Can I ask an honest question?
Mm-hmm.
Depends on the nature.
Okay.
You can ask. It just depends on whether or not you get an actual answer.
I think from Sanguine, I think I might get an actual answer, and we might get a overly detailed answer. So here we go. Okay, I can taste the difference between regular vanilla and French vanilla, but what is it that makes it French vanilla?
Precise spice difference, I believe.
Oh my god, I didn't ask you, donkey, please.
And I gave you the goddamn answer, so don't
Well, you know what?
bullshit me.
You can have a standard vanilla that lacks the vanilla seeds still in it. French vanilla has that taste and texture of the vanilla seed. Also, I'm trying to remember the
Wait.
exact-
So the French vanilla taste is just more of a seed taste?
That's part of it. So when you're looking at French vanilla ice cream, those black specks are vanilla seed.
There's black specks in the vanilla?
Yeah, in
Mhm.
French vanilla, there's black specks.
Oh,
And
that goes to show how long I've fucking. Well, no, because I haven't. Well, usually I have French vanilla in terms of coffee, so I guess I don't see the little black seeds.
yeah, so it'll be kind of an off-white
Yeah.
color. It'll be
Oh,
slightly
definitely.
yellow. which is from the preparation that they use for the vanilla. Then it also contains the vanilla seeds, typically, which are those little black specks, are the vanilla seed. Whereas a standard vanilla can be a more mild vanilla flavor because it doesn't involve the seeds and it doesn't use the same preparation, which gives a stronger, truer vanilla flavor. A lot of vanillas are also synthetic vanillas rather than true vanillas. So you can, in a lab, synthesize vanillin, which is the compound that smells like vanilla and makes it stand out that way. And I'm trying to look because I think that there's a specific type of vanilla bean that is often used in French vanilla.
You know, I can probably do this with coconut. Hey, is coconut a fruit?
Yeah.
The coconut nut is not a nut. It's the cocoa fruit. It's the cocoa fruit of the cocoa tree, of the cocoa tree, of the cocoa palm family.
I love this song. Dude, that popped up in my head the other day, and I was like, son of a bitch, Sanguine.
Yep.
And you know, the worst part is I don't remember the words, like the actual lyrics. I just remember the tone and the rhythm and all that. And so it's just the song pops up in my head, but it's in jarbled lyrics. So I'm like, shit, I can't even get the lyrics right. So the coconut's doing all sorts of things.
So yeah, the Coke or the French vanilla. Going back to French vanilla. So what makes it French vanilla ice cream is it's a custard base rather than just a cream base, which is part of the reason for the yellow color because it uses egg yolk. Then it's also the preparation of the vanilla beans is slightly different, as well as the fact that they do actually use the vanilla bean seeds, which are often strained out in standard vanilla. There is no preference for the vanilla bean origin, so you can use Tahitian, Mexican, Malaysian, or any of the other standard vanilla beans, and still make it a French vanilla because French vanilla applies more to the preparation and the custard base rather than a just standard cream base. That makes sense.
Yeah. I think it's tasty too. You know, it's probably the one thing that the French did right in terms of.
Likely not even a French invention.
Hold on, you know what, buddy?
If I were to guess, Italian.
Step on my joke, you fucking Canuck.
I don't care for your jokes because they're shallow.
Oh, whoa!
Oh, shots fired.
Okay.
At least he hasn't zoomed in on smut and passed it off as a profile picture yet.
Fuck off.
Oh, okay.
And then tried to deny it. If you're gonna do that shit, at least own up to it. But yeah, that's the difference between a standard vanilla and a French vanilla. And yes, the coconut is the cocoa fruit of the cocoa tree of the cocoa palm family.
Oh.
And I think he's stunned and unsure where to go from here.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know why, but you already had your introductions. I apologize that I'm late. I was doing something very important that had matters of magnitude beyond a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people's understanding.
Mm-hmm.
It was just I had to devote enough time towards that before I was able to hang out with you all, lovely folks. Um, but yeah,
Shit happens.
yeah, I know, and you know what I I deeply and sincerely apologize. Okay, it shouldn't happen. But I will say, at least I didn't fall asleep like I did last time.
Aw.
Ooh.
Yeah, progress.
Yeah, so baby steps, I'd like to say. But holy shit, dude, Sanguine,
Yep.
I was meaning to tell you. So because tomorrow's New Year's Eve, and I, I don't know how shops are operating nowadays. So I was like, holy shit, this deli's gonna be closed on New Year's Eve. So right after work, I headed over to this deli that I've been
Jones and four.
yeah. And I was like, okay, I want to try some more stuff. And so I went in there and I picked out a whole bunch of stuff. And I was telling the guy when he was ringing me up, I was like, yeah, dude, I was just worried that you guys weren't going to be open tomorrow. I wanted to get as much shit as I could.
Mhm.
And not only that, but dude, yeah, you got to come out to this deli. You got to check it out, man. Next time you come out these ways, I'm gonna take you out this way.
Copy that. I'm always game for a good sub
Yeah,
or
it
good
was-
hoagie or good submarine, whichever version of the name, a good hero they decide to use.
Well, actually, to see what you could cook up with what they have.
Ah,
So
copy that. I'd be game. As you found out from the camping trip, if you give me objects, I can make a food out of it.
yeah, no, yeah, that's what I was looking at things, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can probably cook a basic thing with it. What could Sanguine do with this?
Mm-hmm.
Put it on bread.
Yes, put it on bread. Thank you. Maybe add a seasoning to it.
Oh,
Like
that's
you
where
guys-
the fun begins.
Was that donkey? Why does it resonate so oddly in my ear when I hear him?
Because Donkey currently sounds like he's speaking through a sewer pipe.
Are you okay, donkey?
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
Okay.
You sounded like
returning to his
Eeyore in that
people.
response. I'm doing just fine, thank you.
Well, that is fitting, given his name is.
I know, that's why I said it.
And he does have a way of sounding oh so thrilled to be
Hold
chatting
on.
with everyone, doesn't he?
So I think it's safe to say that Eeyore didn't give himself the name.
I think it was just an observation.
Yes. Poppy, initially, if I recall correctly.
And then we all took to calling him Donkey.
And yeah,
And then he tried to change his name, and we went, no, you're Donkey.
Nope, you're Donkey now. This is canon.
how does that feel, dude? You are that is canon. No, that really is canon. I mean, we fucking if we were to sit there and gather a bunch of minions together and talk about the participants and or hosts, guests or whatever, holy shit, get back to um if we were to talk about Eeyore, I don't even know how do you say your name? Vololust Valgas?
No, you just pronounce it Eeyore or Donkey or ass.
Yeah. Well, I'm not the last. Come on, man. I had a little bit, but mule probably maybe, but
Boy!
Oh, now he's impotent.
Boy,
but it's one of those things where it's like, holy shit, yeah. How did we get to this point? That's That's awesome. I hope we have a Bible, the Minions Bible, and in it there's chapters on how Donkey became Donkey.
Mhm.
You'd have to ask Buddy's Aussie girlfriend. I think she has the Bible.
Far.
Farzeus me, thank you.
She has Toth golden tablets, emerald
But
tablets.
does anyone have any additional topics that they want to talk about, or shall I reach into my bag of topics?
Your topics typically last half an hour, so
Well, hold on. What kind of topics did you guys already brought up?
I haven't been online too much, so I don't think I have any topics. I just haven't been in touch.
Well, hey, real quickly, how you feeling there, Gabby? You all right?
I'm good. I've mostly recovered from whatever the fuck was making me sick for like almost 2 weeks. That was awful.
Also, she got a new hat.
What?
You got a
You
hat?
got your cock hat.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, that's not new. I've had that for a while.
Ah,
Oh.
okay.
I mean, I just thought it was, I really wanted to whip it out because someone else whipped it out in my DMs.
Nice.
I got my first unsolicited dick pic.
oh, for God's sakes.
I hope you realize
It
I'm
happened.
really...
I am a woman on the internet. It happened.
Is that like a medal? Like you're
I feel like it is. I'm actually not even that mad about it. I'm rather pleased. I know I'm weird. Shut up.
hold on. Because now I'm curious. I'm gonna ask all the other ladies of the minions. Hey, and not to say you're a lady of the minion because Gabs,
Hmm?
you still got to go through the obstacle course and the the American Gladiator.
I'm not a minion yet.
No,
Really?
We can sort that out in 6 to 8 weeks.
traveling exhibits still.
yeah, you're still a carny.
That doesn't make me feel better at all. What is wrong with you?
You're the one that just towed on the end of the fucking carnival train.
That one or the one with the mustache? You guys are being jerks.
No, you put the mustache on thinking that it's gonna help you, but it's not. You're like,
I hate to
Also,
say it, Gabby, but the hazing is actually a requirement.
Okay, fine. Initiate me.
Also,
Hey,
Gabby,
look.
I hope you realize that when you said that you got your first unsolicited dick pic, I was really tempted to send you dick pics and
Oh, the cute little
spotted
deers.
dick pics.
Oh well, now I'm gonna send
Oh,
you.
for God's sakes, are you gonna get your birds?
I'm gonna send you all sorts of
No,
dick pics now.
There's no.
I mean, if
Dick
you're that
bird.
confident, man, then I mean, kudos to you.
Now,
It better
if
be
she were-
impressive because I will judge it.
I didn't say it
If
was gonna
she
be
were to
my
send
dick
me back,
pics.
Well, then that's just
a
not that's
pair
not
of-
the point. An unsolicited dick pic is the sender's actual dick.
No, it's just a random dick.
No.
Well, okay, you know what? Yeah, no. There's the people who sit there and do their own, and hey, those are weirdos.
Adam only gets his dick pics done professionally, I think is what he's going for.
Well, no, it's I can
Get the
I can
right
send
lighting,
you I can send you
the right
my
angle.
I can send you my dick pics, but then after that, it's okay. Now what? So I'm gonna have to just send you a whole bunch of random dick pics. So it's I'm not.
Send me a dozen. And I'll just try to guess which one's yours.
It's a lineup.
Well,
And then we'll
considering it's
call you
mine.
for a lineup of dick pic. All right, man.
Out in the lineup.
You seen all these dicks? Which one is the dick you saw that he sent you that night? How did that happen?
Guess who? You're just asking questions. Is it circumcised? Okay, let me click out these.
It has a weird scar on it. Oh shit.
But yeah, the spotted dick is a dessert. Now, if she were to respond in
spots on it.
kind, then she would probably end up sending me back a picture of a pair of great tits or something along those lines. Now, those are birds.
Assassin, I am not a commie.
That's not what Zelthor's audio says.
Sanguine, we get into this every time. You and Icy emotionally coerce that out of me as a pick-me-up for
Every
Zelthor
time
because
you
I
try
treated
to
him badly.
dissemble,
I
and
don't give a
dismiss
shit
it
what you
and-
say. I know because I was a primary participant.
That was up.
You can make these
wish I
claims.
was
I
a
think it's up for
participant.
everyone else to decide the veracity of them.
No, it's me, Icy, Zelthor, and then you because you're the least credible here.
I don't know. I think a great many people find me rather credible.
Not in this regard.
But
Because
as
you were the
for-
fourth person in that voice chat.
As for the
Spotted dick.
topics that I have, no, not as for the spotted dick. The spotted dick can be delicious if it's cooked right. So,
It's a bird. Deep fry it.
no, it isn't. Spotted dick is a pudding.
Oh.
Great tits are birds.
Am I? No, there's a family of birds called dicks.
Dicks are deer. Pygmy deer, but deer.
Also, like they're like very little,
Yes.
small little
Yeah, they're
dicks.
small little bug-eyed deer. They're kind of in that pug category of so ugly it's cute.
Hey, pugs aren't ugly. They are cute. Come on, man.
Yeah.
No, pugs are kind of ugly. They have bug eyes and they're just...
That's what makes them cute.
I'm trying to remember which dog breed it was that had the tendency for their eyeballs to pop out.
Oh,
Now that you're
and I
speaking
am
of eyeballs,
right. I
No,
am right. There is actually a
my
cardinal called a dick.
holy
Yeah,
shit!
but it's not called the spotted dick, you fuck. The spotted dick is a dessert pudding.
Fair.
And the dick is again a pygmy deer.
dicks are cute.
But as for additional topics, did you guys hear about and yes, Poppy? Did you guys hear about the incident that happened in California with the school board president?
Is that the one where they brought a choir to a party with strippers?
Oh,
Because I heard about
Yes,
that.
That is exactly it.
Fuck California.
And what about voice recorder? But yeah, in California, there was a school board president that had what he claims was official school board fundraising event where he had an open bar.
For high schoolers. This is it's not college, by the way, for anyone who wants details.
Yeah, it was an open bar for the party. Was it actually high school choir? I thought it was younger.
It was a
than
high school
choir. Okay,
oh,
it was a
maybe.
high school
I
choir?
could be wrong. I thought it was high school. But still.
Yeah, I thought it was like the
no, it was high
12
school.
unders choir. It was the high school choir there. So it was a school choir, whichever school age it was. It was a school choir, was then brought to perform at
It was
this party.
minors. If it was a college thing, that might be a little different.
Yep.
Not entirely better, but I mean, at least there's a legal adults there.
Yep.
It probably
These
wouldn't
were
be propped up in the news. I just remember when I was scamming the news. I think it was either yesterday or today. But when I saw it, I think it was high school teacher has choir singing for male strippers.
it was actually the school board president. And
Yes.
what
Oh,
happened
shit.
was apparently while they were there were a bunch of male strippers performing. There was also the open bar, as I mentioned, and according to testimony from the students that were present, they were being offered the contents of the open bar throughout the night, which not fucking right to do for children. Then there was a whole shit ton of other rather skeezy things going on there that just led to everything screaming, what the fuck is going on with this shit? In a rather frightening way. But people were trying to act like, yeah, this is... The problem was that the students were performing an hour later than they were supposed to.
So they had an hour to be plied with alcohol and like look at the Chippendales knockoff.
Yep. And this was at the school board president's private home that this was all happening as well. So just all kinds of creepy shit around it.
Mm-hmm.
And the school board president has stepped down, retiring. He wasn't sacked. He wasn't unasked by any stretch of the imagination.
Well,
he was just...
Quitting is better than
Unbanned.
being fired.
Yep. He was told to
But there
retire.
should be charges. There should be charges, man. Fuck that shit.
Absolutely, especially since there are adults, there are parents that get charged for allowing their children to have a sip of booze or
Right?
a
Like,
bit
if
too
you-
much booze at a party, like a Christmas party or New Year's Eve party.
If you want to be an actual like adult and be like, okay, so if my kid's 18 or 19, it's better they have a beer here on a holiday than like go and drink with their friends. Nope. Oh, you're a criminal. But this guy was like, let's have Chippendales recreated for this choir of all things, a choir.
Yep. And
Amazing.
the parents are trying to get him to have more actions taken against him. It sounds like he should absolutely have at least a few investigations put out about him. Because the fuck?
He was confident enough to do this. So
Yeah,
what led up
because-
to it? You don't just go from being straight-laced to I'm going to have minors over here for alcohol and adult entertainers.
Yep.
Like
Especially
there's some
since-
levels.
Especially since he was so fucking confident in it that he was the one taking pictures. He took pictures showing the choir with the Chippendale dancers. It wasn't other people leaked the pictures. He took the fucking pictures. Which, again, the fuck?
Again, you have to have some practice to get that fucking confident.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, he probably was of the mindset that, you know, he that's the right thing to do, and in the future, it's going to be one of those. Because you got to remember, okay, as odd as it is, there's a lot of these people that believe that they are doing a positive thing. Just like there was, I think it was a, I don't know if it was a principal or I don't think it was just a teacher, but out here in Chicago who was sitting there like, oh yeah, we handed out sex toys and butt plugs to the students, you know, so they can see what they're like. I'm fairly sure that there's a bunch of these people that have the mindset that they're doing it for positive reasons.
There's
They
a
just
certain
cannot
percent-
see that it's they cannot see what they're actually doing. Like it's weird.
There's a certain percent that are just fucking stupid. There's another percent that are malicious.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Yeah, there is the malicious side, and that's where it's you're sadly that's where we've fallen upon. And what I was describing earlier is that is a dumb person. I mean, there's no way around it. If you're trying to do this shit, oh yeah, handing out, dildos and butt plugs to teach my students that, this is what's going on. You know what? It's out there in the real world, so you need to know about it before you go out there. So let me teach you. That's a dumb person. So yeah, so it's dumb or malicious. Which one are you?
The
Yeah,
big
there's a-
indicator was that one teacher, that male teacher who just fled. Like, if you were actually like teaching in the context of like, 16, 17-year-olds in a sex ed class, that would be one thing. But like when you're in your high socks and skinny jeans and you're running away from reporters, like, nah, bruh.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, no, yeah, that was a guy.
How I view the current sexualization towards children, to use a technical term,
Mhm.
and I'm basing this on the fact that, as far as confirmed, recorded, and written down occurrences, it's only occurring in America. I am not saying it doesn't occur elsewhere. I'm almost certain it does. But I also feel that the sexualization of children is stemming from the Mappus acceptance movement, which itself is derived from a logical progression of the Stonehill philosophy towards the LGBT,
Mhm.
which is why the Stonehill philosophy that granted, at least in America, all of the LGBT rights up until 2014 should be abandoned.
Yeah, and the thing that pisses me off is it comes down to the slippery slope argument. There's the actual slippery slope argument. So there's a slippery slope fallacy, which is that everything will always move past where it's being argued. Then there's what I view as the legitimate slippery slope argument, which is when you have a stance that your argument that you've given can be used in ways that you do not mean it to be used. So, if a good argument for gay sex shouldn't be illegal is it's two grown consenting adults that aren't causing each other any permanent physical harm. What the fuck does it matter to you?
Well, there is minor physical concerns, but modern medical science cleans that right up.
That, like I said, though, is the valid argument. Then there's the argument that they ended up going with, which is a argument that is a slippery slope. No, there is a slippery slope fallacy, assassin, and it's when you assume that something that is not supported by an argument will be the next logical response. A non-slippery slope fallacy is something like, well, they were born that way. No, born that way is a slippery slope argument. It is something that is fucked up because born that way can be used to defend fucking anything. A murderer can say, it's not my fault, I was born this way.
And to bring it right back around to what we're talking about, I
A
agree.
groomer, a map can.
But I
do
think
the
if you
same.
just apply the libertarian argument of like consent, obviously, like for example, when pedos say, "Oh, it's just a predilection," like no, I mean we got to consider like consent and bodily autonomy and all that into it.
And this is what makes it really America centric, and I'm sure the cultural osmosis of America is showing here. In Canada, at least, and I'm pretty sure it was similar in Europe, Trudeau the Elder said the Canadian government has no right to what occurs between two consenting adults in the bedroom. And that was it on the gay debate.
That's what I'm saying. That the argument that it's two grown consenting adults that aren't causing permanent physical harm to each other. What the fuck does it matter to you? That should have been the argument that people went with. That should have been the only argument that people went with. Because
Born This Way has allowed maps, rumors, and even zoo files can latch
because
onto it.
that's the thing, that the 2 grown consenting human adults not causing any permanent harm, well, that'll just allow children. Are children grown consenting human adults? No. Okay, so that argument doesn't allow that. Will it allow animals? Are they grown consenting human adults? Well,
Nope.
no. Okay, so it doesn't allow that. Well, it'll allow for... if you have a tight argument that is not a slippery slope in and of itself, then it's not a fucking problem. It isn't a slippery slope. It's when your argument is so fucking broad, when your argument is so fucking inclusive that it can include horrendous shit, that then, yes, you have a slippery slope. Because, again, born that way. Zoophiles, pedophiles, fucking sexual abuse, rapists, murderers, insert fucked up thing in human nature, and Born That Way defends it. Because can you really be pissed off about murderers? We've had murderers since the dawn of humanity, and they can't really help it. They're born that way. Well, yes, you can't have murder be illegal now because they were born that way. They can't help it. No, fuck that shit. That's the thing that drives me crazy. That there is a slippery slope fallacy. But you can only determine a slippery slope fallacy versus a legitimate worry of slippery slope by looking at the argument. If the argument is defined enough that it can't be just applied to fucking anything, then you don't have a slippery slope. You have a valid argument. If it can be applied to everything else, then you have a slippery slope. Because what they're going to use is they're going to use that argument now, and then they'll use that argument for the next thing. And when you go, well, that next thing doesn't seem right, they'll be able to go, this is the same fucking argument that we used for this. Why aren't you accepting it in this? You accepted it in that. Fuck you. You should accept it in this. Same goddamn thing. Same logic, same argument. It was convincing then. It should be convincing now. And that's why you have to avoid overly broad statements, overly broad arguments for things.
Broad and vague is exactly what laws like being.
Yep. And that's what people should mentally safeguard against.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure railing against the Stonewall ideology probably got me branded as anti-LGBT.
Yeah, and you are a poof.
Precisely. And I understand fully the logic behind my choice in that.
Yep.
And I do call it a choice.
See, the thing is that, to my mind, there's a certain percent of the population that is obligate heterosexual. These are men that are only interested in women. These are women that are only interested in men. Mm-hmm. There's a certain percent of the population that is obligatory homosexual. These are men that are only interested in men and women that are only interested in women. Then there's a swath of people that they are interested in some mix where it's not only men, because a woman can be interested in like 90% of men and 10% of women. then that would be the bisexual category to my mind. If you're interested in anything that isn't just one or the other, you're some sort of bisexual. And there's a swath of different sorts of bisexual. From they're interested in one guy and a shit ton of females to one female and a shit ton of guys, you're still bisexual. Because to my mind, it's heterosexual. If you're a guy, do you only get hard when looking at the opposite sex? You're heterosexual. Do you only get wet when looking at the opposite sex as a woman? Then you're only heterosexual. Do you only get hard when looking at men as a man? Then you're gay. If you only get wet when looking at women when you're looking at the same sex as a woman, then you're only a lesbian. If you have any combination other than those, you're some sort of bisexual.
Mm-hmm.
Some bisexuals are functionally straight. Some bisexuals are functionally gay. Some bisexuals are smack dab in the fucking middle.
And bear in mind, a lot of that middle is due to their reasoning being for secondary factors. Say it's more socially easy with one rather than the other, but overall they don't care. Or they care for the emotional connection more than any physical characteristic.
Or a lot of the ones that I find when it comes to they're interested in a small subsection of one and the majority of the other is that they just have different standards.
What's tragic is I've seen bisexuals who are attacked on both sides of the spectrum. One like considers it like a trespassing on the gay community, and they're like straight passing, and the other one's like, oh, they just need the right partner, they can be fixed. Like, bisexuals get a lot of hate. Actually, my most popular tweet was about defending bisexuality.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Like,
it shouldn't any of those three categories, as long as it's two consenting human adults. What the fuck doesn't matter?
Exactly.
It shouldn't matter to anyone. That's the reason why I think that argument should have been the end-all be-all argument for that. And you shouldn't be shamed for any of them. You shouldn't be glorified for any of them. But you should be able to kind of recognize the logic behind each of them. And we now have people trying to muddy the water where, no, you aren't. You can be straight and sometimes be attracted to someone of the same sex. No, that's bisexual. That isn't straight. Because it's some mix. That's bisexual. And
I've never seen anyone who tries to claim to be straight who has that. It's normally like people who are bisexual who try to defend themselves, like when it comes to the gay factor. I don't think anyone's tried to claim like, oh, I'm attracted to both, but I'm mostly straight. I haven't seen that.
I've seen that. I've seen people say that they're straight, but they only are interested in gay porn. Men that say that they're straight that are only interested in gay porn. Men that say that they're straight that are attracted to femboys.
Well, fantasy and reality is a whole different category.
Also, come on. Asian femboys are sort of cute.
It depends on the femboy.
Not my
And again, fantasy is separate from reality. People can have like it's why like the most sought after not most sought after, what's the word I'm looking for? Like most sexual fantasies with women is rape, but no one actually wants to get raped. It's just it's a fantasy. It's a power fantasy.
See, the thing is that like I said, to me it comes down to, are you attracted to some portion of the opposite sex and some portion of the same sex? Then you are bisexual of some sort. Men have a built-in device that tells you your sexuality. Because there's no talking to your dick. There's no reasoning with your dick. Your dick will get hard when your dick wants to get hard. If you're a guy and you only get hard when looking at women, you're straight. If you only get hard looking at men, you're gay. If you get hard looking at some mix, even if it's just one man and all the rest are women, you're bisexual. That has a very specific exception. Or you have a very specific male or very specific female, whatever the fuck it is. And like I said, that a lot of that seems to come down to different standards. I have my best friend from 8th grade. I jokingly refer to him as the functional puff because he's interested in a lot of men. He's only interested in a very select category of women. And it's because those are the ones that he finds attractive. There's still women. He's still bisexual because he's interested in some women. Just he's interested in a lot more men than he is women. But because he gets hard with women and he gets hard with men, he's bisexual. He's a functional puff, though, because, 99% of the people that he fancies are men. He has a different standard. He has a wider selection of men that he's attracted to. Whereas with women, he's only attracted if they meet these, 10 characteristics. And if they don't meet all 10 characteristics, he's not interested.
And you'll find a lot of people in this bi category are, as I alluded to before, it's due to secondary things. Intimacy, emotional connection.
Some of them will be. Some of them I'd say
a particular ethnicity or body build.
I'd say a lot of them are just straight up attraction. Then their determination of which side to go with because I know people that are 50-50. They're attracted to roughly an equal selection of men and women that only pursue one or the other. So they're functionally straight or functionally gay. They're still attracted to the other, but they're just going, I don't want to bother with that shit. And that, I would say, is where the aspects that you're talking about come in.
Oh, you're actually sort of hitting the nail on the head. Women, especially modern day women, are just too much trouble to deal with. Present company excluded, but I'm pretty sure you know what I mean.
See, I was going to say, Gabby, you should take that as a good sign. I'm not sure that you would want Donkey to be attracted to you.
Oh, she doesn't sound like the type I'm worried about.
I would be worried. Now, he might be attracted to you, Gabby. So...
no, if I'm... Dude, I'm dating a Florida man right now. It would be dangerous for me to be attracted to someone else.
Good news. You don't have enough meth in your bloodstream, Gabby.
Well...
This just gets worse and worse.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant that the Florida man might do something to me if I try that shit.
What the hell?
Apparently, Donkey is currently in a relationship with someone who is at least, 45% meth? That's average for Florida man, right?
According to memology, yes.
Okay.
According to reality, no.
According to reality, it's much higher.
Oh.
It's lower than La Crosse, Wisconsin, though. That's at least one good side.
You're talking about some tiny little meth town you had to go through?
Okay. Do you not watch Donut Operator at all?
Oh, I love that dude.
Not
Actually,
off
the other
and on. I haven't watched anything too recent. I think I know where this is going, though.
So, Donut Operator has been developing what he calls the La Crosse, Wisconsin Cinematic Universe. Because he's noticed that a lot of the strangest goddamn police body cam footage all comes out of La Crosse, Wisconsin,
Mhm.
which apparently is entirely inhabited by people whose fathers went out to grab a gallon of milk, never returned. So they decided to get addicted to meth.
Well, I mean, obviously.
Yeah, it's a natural response, right?
Yeah, that's where you're
I
supposed to
feel
go.
like that skips some levels.
No, well, I mean, if you want to be meticulous about it, but I mean, come on, obviously you're gonna we're just gonna go to the meth route, right? Come on. Or
It's,
fentanyl. Well, meth,
The-
let's stick with the story, meth.
the other running joke about it is that it's inhabited by the last surviving T-Rexes, because one of the videos that he did really early on, he said was the T-Rex man gets arrested, because there's just this guy who at like halfway through the video decides his arms can't extend.
Oh, good lord.
So his hands are just kind of flopping at the wrist directly beneath his head as he's screaming and making fucking weird dinosaur noises. Like, at one point, he's being arrested by the cops, and you just hear him straight up go,
I'm just going to say this. That sounds like something more extreme than meth.
He was drunk, he was doing meth, he was doing all kinds of shit. But yeah, so La Crosse, Wisconsin. It's the cinematic La Crosse, Wisconsin universe where everyone is on meth and no one has a father. I recommend the Donut Operator videos on it. It is fucking hilarious.
Oh, recommend his entire playlist. They're all hilarious.
Yeah. But I did just notice the time. Does anyone have any topics that they want to touch on before we head off? Or do you guys think that we've had a decent conversation enough and just want to say goodbye? Or think that we've had a shit conversation and just want to get the fuck out?
Well, I'm
2
always down
hours
to
of
hang out with
animal
you
week
guys.
is too much for me.
Wait, what?
I'm saying let's close up shop.
Copy that. Do you have any parting words?
Skin the cat and death to the local politicians.
Fantastic. Adam, do you want to go next?
Wait, are we voting for?
First off, do you want to call it quits? If so, parting words? Or do you have a topic that you want to jump into? In which case, nominate the topic.
I mean, it's kind of soured now that Donkey just ushered his final thoughts. Does it? Don't you think?
Well, no, because then we can just ignore Donkey. In fact, I could mute him and continue talking.
I mean, that is easy enough. I understand that. Don't get me wrong. I don't know. This whole thing seems kind of shaky. If that, no, am I the only one? If I'm the only one, that's fine.
It's Donkey. Like I said, I'm used to ignoring him.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And I do have the ability just to click this and then suddenly he's muted.
Right. No, you are 100% capable of that. This.
That took a bit too long for him to unclick that.
Well, shoot. I wish I had joined earlier so I could have indulged myself in all the fantastic
the
conversations
that you missed beforehand was mainly football talk.
Oh, okay. Well, I probably wasn't going to be of much use, but
I wasn't then either. I had nothing to say. I just said, "Yay, sports ball."
Oh,
Donkey watches I played.
Well, I was saving babies from burning buildings. So I mean, at least look, we all carry
What
our
if
own
one of those
burden.
babies became future Hitler? Did you think about that before you saved him?
Now I'm thinking the South Park episode with the meth babies.
On that, Sanguine, you do remember the actual Hitler was spared by a British sergeant, I want to say.
Yep.
And so are people kicking this British sergeant in the ass for
No,
saving
I
baby
think he's
Hitler?
still highly respected for his actions in the Great War.
Well,
Yeah,
thanks
he
for
had no means
interrupting
of knowing.
my goodbye, Donkey. I mean, you had a subpar one yourself. You had to ruin mine. So thank you, sir.
Well, I could always do this again. Go ahead, Adam.
Can we edit it? We can edit it, right?
Talk, Adam. You have time. He hasn't realized.
Oh, well, Sanguine, it's always a fun time hanging out with you, chatting on a Friday night, dude. I look forward to it all the time because it's the wild card night, and we gotta shoot the shit, and it's fun. So, thanks again for letting me hang out with you, and I do apologize for coming late.
No
I
worries.
may not have been saving babies from burning buildings, who may or
You
may
were
not
lighting
be
the
future
fire, weren't
Hitlers.
you?
I was out there vigorously lighting those matches, but alas, it is very
Nice.
cold outside. So yes, that is my final thought.
Copy that. And again, it took Donkey a while to realize that he was muted and unmute himself. Gabby, are you back and able to say your goodbyes?
I've been talking for a second.
Just making sure, because I did see the...
That was a while ago.
Okay.
Unless she was muted too. Oh no.
Just making sure that you did have time to peel off and go do what you needed.
Oh yeah, I forgot she was peeing. Oh, sorry.
I try to be
got your back.
discreet, and this is how y'all throw me under the bus.
Yeah.
Hey, Internet, I have bodily functions. They occur.
Yeah, I could have said you were taking a shit, so. Final thoughts.
I hate you all. How about that? No, it's all
Any
good.
addition?
It stinks.
You're not here. How do you know?
Nice.
Wow, touche. There you go.
Nah.
Oh god damn it.
But any additional words, or will that serve as your parting?
I feel like that's a really poor goodbye, but I don't have anything else in my brain.
Ah.
Well,
Just if I don't see you guys like later tonight or tomorrow, Happy New Year's, y'all. Because that's
Copy
happening.
That. Yep. I'll be at work, sadly, but at least I get paid for that. So I'll leave off with my standard of, if you're passionate about something, make sure that you devour it. Don't let it devour you. And with that, have a good night, all. The zoo is closed.
Later, taters.
Donkey.
Yes. Night.
Say goodbye.
I am.
No.
You said you are, but then
I
you don't
said
do it.
night before I complained at you.
There we go. Have a good night, all. Bye.